Hello and welcome to KamenRider Blackman. Now it's time to finally wrap up Drive Month with the surprise future movie. So let's begin, shall we? Yeah. I need a cup of water, but I'll get that eventually. So, the movie begins at night where we actually see our villains at the beginning, KamenRider Dark Drive. He officially reveals himself a little bit later during the daytime the next day when Drive is called for an attack against a flying Ronin, and Drive's in type formula is about to shoot it, and then another person and then the son of Shinosuke named Eiji, he shows up and says don't shoot the monster, while Krim is insisting to shoot the monster, while all of a sudden he just malfunctions, takes over, and shoots the shot himself, not only getting the monster, but also creating some debris. And after that, Eiji tells Shinosuke that the future is in danger, but aside from that, Shinosuke is also looking at Krim going, dude, what the fuck was that? And around that time is when Dark Drive reveals himself. So, let's talk about the Dark Drive suit. This is something interesting that I've realized about in Kamen Rider movies. With evil Kamen Riders that eventually turn good, they seem to look a bit... their suits seem to look a bit better when they're the bad guys, because when they're the good guys, it's still like the same interior, but just a few alterations. But I like this suit quite a bit. I like the detailings. I like that the colors are blue and yellow, and it's a good suit. And so they get away in Trideron, and Shinosuke is considered a fugitive by the police. And so while the police are trying to hunt for Shinosuke, and this is one of the aspects about this movie that if I did have a script, I would have probably forgotten. Oh, by the way, I'm doing this off script. But the police in this movie, or particularly one guy, acts completely moronic for no fucking reason at all, saying, how are we supposed to tell the people that this is happening? I'm sorry. I find it hard to believe that in a world where robots are trying to take over and your line of defense is someone with the power to transform into an armored hero thanks to a sentient belt that has the consciousness of a dead guy in it to protect everything, and you're not going to believe that enemies from the future are trying to kill us? Like, I'm not gonna lie, in that world, I'm pretty sure I'd be pretty inclined to believe that. Seriously. But yeah, in the future, the Roy-Mutes have apparently taken over the world, and Krim is the one in charge, leading the invasion. And so Eiji comes back to the future to modify the driver so that it doesn't malfunction. And so his future doesn't happen. And like what I said too, Eiji is the son of Shinosuke and Kiriko. So there's a little revelation there from when I mentioned it at the end of the Drive review. But yeah, Shinosuke at first doesn't believe Eiji because, for one, he insulted Krim, probably because before him and Kiriko got together, he was in love with Krim. But Krim is completely down and believes him. So, of course, they have they run away from the police. They get away. Oh, not to mention, this is something I definitely needed to mention. Throughout this whole movie, let's have a plot device a plot device that's this key that will be completely important going forward there. And so they eventually stop somewhere to work on Krim, and Eiji actually gets shot, like dead serious. Eiji gets shot and dies right there and then. And so this got a bit heavy. I'm sorry, what would you do if you saw your own kid from the future just die right in front of you? That's heavy. And so, well, immediately after that, of course, there's fighting. Like both Mach and Chaser are there. And they fight Roy Mutes from the future that actually take over some vehicles. One takes over, I believe, a crane machine, I believe, sort of. No, it's not a crane machine. It's a bulldozer. One takes over a bulldozer, and Shinosuke has to transform to save Chase, while Mach deals with the Roy Mute. And eventually, at some point, Krim starts malfunctioning again, forcing Shinosuke to rip off the belt and straight up punch it in. And first of all, real quick, this is something I should mention. The special effects in this movie, and I mention them for this reason. Like, drives in Type Trideron, and Krim is acting out again, so Shinosuke rips off the belt and punches it, and as Krim falls to the ground, Shinosuke dehensions and falls back. Meanwhile, Trideron just brings itself back together all perfectly while they just fall to the ground. That I just thought was funny. While two people are just falling to the ground, getting a little hurt, Trideron just brings itself back together so peacefully. Okay, that was funny. And next, there's a battle axe. Like, Shinosuke takes Chase's axe and straight up destroys the driver. Like, damn. All that's left there is straight up. That axe did a damn good job because it just left scrap and the strap. God damn. And just, of course, just to add on to the, oh no, this is bad, Eiji shows up right in front of Shinosuke to taunt him. But of course it's not actually Eiji. Well, the real Eiji is back in the future. The one that we've been seeing up till now is actually Roy Mute number 108 from the future. So let me explain the context of what's happening and going on. And this is something that I also should have explained earlier. Like, Eiji Tomari is KamenRider Drive, or should I say, the KamenRider Drive in the year 2035. And he was battling Roy Mute number 108 because he had the plan to go back into the past, find his present self or his past self, so that they could unite and create a permanent global freeze. And so Eiji goes out to battle him, and he gets beaten. And the consequences of the battle is that his driver gets stolen, and so does his gear, so that he can go back in time to go off with his plan. And so, with that said, like, Dark Drive fires one shot to supposedly kill Shinosuke. Turns out he doesn't die. Chase transformed, he takes the shot, and while there's this big explosion, afterwards, Chase is dehensioned and gives his driver to Shinosuke to defend himself. And so, time going on later, like Shinosuke the entire time has had this letter from Krim about a special event. It's actually the day that Shinosuke was transferred to the Special Crimes Unit, and he's had this letter this entire time that he's not supposed to open until then. So Shinosuke, he eventually opens the letter, and he gets an address, which is to the original drive pit, which is this one huge garage with a bunch of old classic cars there that are all Krims. And so, Kiriko eventually finds him there, and he informs him of what's happening, and Shinosuke, he gets back up, and he goes out to solve the case, while driving in the prototype Tritoron, which gets blasted after 2 hits and completely dismantles itself. So I see why it never left the production line. And so, Shinosuke's out and fight. So Shinosuke's out to go deal with Dark Drive. And actually, he remembered, and this is where that plot device comes into play. Like, with the key, Shinosuke, he inserts it inside the mock driver to actually access this clobbered up form called Super Dead Heat. So let's talk about that suit for a minute. That suit is exactly how it is. It's a clobbered up version of Dead Heat. Well, not really. It doesn't really look like Dead Heat. Like, the suit's part red and part black. And so, yeah, pretty much it. It's, it's pretty clobbered up, but that's not even really what I want to say. Like, that suit's that suit. It's not good. It's not bad. I will say that, though. And now this has become a upside down vlog, guys. Like, check out my massage chair, my window, and now it's back to my face. Anywho, one thing though I will say about this movie, this could be like the only KamenRider movie where the Rider punch is ever really recognized, because people get uppercut, people get hooked in this movie, just punches all around, but of course it'll end with the Rider kick. I don't know why I said that now, I meant it for later, but anywho, the police finally catch up to Drive, and they're now supporting him since they have informed everyone of what's going on. And so everyone's all together, all the riders and whatnot. They're fighting Dark Drive and Roy Mutes. And Shinosuke revives Krim. And okay, here's what happens first. Okay, first, the present Roy Mute number 108, he is awakened. And he meets his future counterpart. And so he abandons his driver. So he abandons his driver, your first mistake, and fuses with the present 108 to have his monster form. So Shinosuke goes to the future driver and revives Krim with using the plot device key and the shift cars all together, uniting to make a Jesus moment where the combat data is downloaded inside of the belt so that Krim can be alive again. And so Drive's back in action, and thanks to Kiriko using one of the future shift cars, she passes it to Shinosuke, and he beats the monster using Type Special, which is a fusion of Type Speed and Type Next. So, let's talk about Type Special. The suit's not bad, but I will say I will say though, I like it. I liked it a bit more when it was dark. When it was like, I like it a bit more when it was like the blue lining with the yellow tire. But this isn't bad either. This is pretty good for the most part. And so, Dark Drive is beaten, and at the end of the movie, Shinosuke is cleared, and he guesses on who Eiji's mother is, and that's the movie. This movie's pretty good for the most part. It's not really bad. It's not alright. Like, it's good. Like, there are some moments where I did definitely feel the acting. Specifically when Eiji got shot and when Krim got obliterated. Which, by the way, people really like using battle axes in this movie. Because in the final battle, like, Shinosuke, he chases axe once again and straight up clobbers he straight up cleaves someone. He cleaves 108 with that battle axe. Like, if this was a Chekhov's play, that battle axe would be used again and again and again. But yeah, for the most part, this is a good movie. Pretty solid story, and thumbs up. Pretty good. Oh yeah, and all that stuff with Eiji and whatnot is actually from a miniseries within the show that I didn't really watch because I was busy binge watching the show, so I really didn't have time to watch it. Also, I already got a month out of Drive anyway, so I don't know, another time or something, maybe. But oh yeah, real quick before the video ends, I'm going to be taking a 3-week break from YouTube, like from recording, watching. Speaking of which, my next review is going to be Denko Chojin Gridman. But yeah, I'm going to be taking, say, a small break from YouTube because one, I would like to, focus on school for a little bit. And two, my laptop has crapped out on me, right now. So I might need to get a new one. So yeah, I'm gonna be taking a small break for a bit to focus on school as well as getting a new laptop. But when I come back in 3 weeks, we will finally be talking about Denko Chojin Gridman. So let's look forward to that review. And with that said, please do not forget to like, subscribe, share this video, and tell your friends about KamenRider Blackman. And I hope you guys enjoyed Drive Month. And I will see you guys next time.